So you've probably seen that viral video of a super young Sam Altman, right? The one in that bright green polo shirt? You've seen the comments. But here's the thing. What you think that video means is completely, totally wrong. And pretty much everyone is missing the real story, the one that actually has a lesson for you.
The internet sees that clip and immediately goes, wow, a prodigy, a genius. Bro was built different. They see the seed of OpenAI. But you know what they should have seen? A failure.
Because what if the real story isn't about being born a genius, but about being willing to grind? What if his actual superpower wasn't some magical ability to see the future, but just the guts to have a public, messy, imperfect first attempt? This, right here, is the secret weapon most founders are just too scared to build. Let's break it down.
Every single founder, every creator, you know this feeling. It's that crippling fear that your first shot, your first idea, it has to be legendary. It's got to change the world, like right out of the box. And if you've ever felt that pressure, you know it's absolutely paralyzing. And you know, Silicon Valley culture just pours gasoline all over that fire. It's this brutal unicorn or bust mindset. If you don't build a billion-dollar company, you failed. You're disappointed. You're just a rounding error in someone's portfolio. And this toxic idea is killing way more great ideas than any market crash ever will. But this is where the Sam Altman story gets really, really interesting.
Let's talk about the company he was actually pitching in that video. It was called Loopt. And back in 2005, this thing was basically science fiction, an app that lets you see your friends as little dots moving around on a map in real time. I mean, today that's just a normal feature in Google Maps or iMessage. Back then, it was absolutely revolutionary.
But here's the twist. Loopt did not become a unicorn. It didn't change the world. And that is the entire point. We have to stop looking at it as his first failure and start seeing it for what it really was, the single most important training ground of his entire career.
Just look at the journey. He drops out of Stanford. He gets into the very first batch of Y Combinator, the OG class. He builds a product that gets to 5 million users, which is no joke. But after 7 long years of grinding, it gets acquired.
So the sale price was $43.4 million. Now, for you and me, that sounds incredible. That's life-changing money. But in the venture capital universe, where investors are swinging for the fences, looking for that 100x home run, this was considered, well, a disappointment, a financial miss. But the price tag isn't the real story here, not even close.
Forget the money. This slide right here was the real payout. This was his 7-year high-stakes MBA in how to build a real company from scratch. He learned the brutal lessons of finding product-market fit, the nonstop pain of fundraising, the nightmare of negotiating with giant mobile carriers. This wasn't some class project. It was a crucible.
Okay, I can already hear the skeptics. Come on, dude, it sold for less than it raised in funding. That is, by definition, a failure. And you know what? I get it. If you only look at the final number on the check, you could argue that. But you'd be missing the entire point.
See, this is the whole disconnect. From the outside, Silicon Valley saw a financial disappointment. But from the founder's reality, he got a multi-million-dollar education. Investors saw an investment that wasn't a home run. Altman went through the fire that forged him into a leader. The world might label it a miss, but this experience was the literal foundation for everything that came next, including OpenAI. It's all about how you look at it.
Because in the end, the most valuable things to come out of Loopt weren't on any balance sheet. It was the experience he earned the hard way, the network he built, and the sheer resilience you only get from spending 7 years in the trenches. You just can't buy that kind of education. You have to earn it. Now let's talk about how you can earn yours.
So this whole story, it isn't really about Sam Altman. It's about you. Think of this as a lesson and maybe even a permission slip for you to go out and find your own Loopt, to go build your own training ground. This right here is the core idea. Burn this into your brain. Your first real shot at something big, it probably won't be a unicorn. It probably won't make you famous. But that's not its job. Its job is to transform you into the person who is capable of doing those amazing things later on.
So what's the game plan? It's actually pretty simple. 1, start before you feel ready, just like that 19-year-old in the green polo. 2, reframe your project. It's not your one shot at glory. It's your personal training ground. And 3, let the process, the grind, the wins, the tough lessons, let it change you. Because that personal change, that's the real win.
So I really want to know, what's a failure that taught you more than any success ever did? I want the real stories. Drop it in the comments below.
Let's start a real conversation about this. And hey, if this shifted your perspective on how you see your own projects, do me a favor and hit that like button and subscribe for more explainers that cut through the noise.